think to a certain extent, in my experience, it requires different people to support them. You often, there are examples of, I know one young man who embraced Islam, become very radical in his outlook. The fact that it was a non-Muslim or someone who wasn't a Muslim who actually ended up giving him a lot of support, really in and of itself was a means of removing a lot of those kind of really extreme tendencies, because he got to see this as someone who's not Muslim, who's interested in him, who cares about him, enough to go out of his way beyond the call of duty to actually help him. It softened his heart. At the same time, there were some issues of religious questions that he had. And obviously those religious questions, he wanted to square how he felt with what he thought his religion was. And so then he needed to have some kind of religious intervention in terms of someone who had a religious scholarly background to be able to answer questions like, okay, doesn't the Quran say we shouldn't take such and such as our friends? Or doesn't the Quran talk about, well, when you are fought, you should fight? Or how does that relate to us living in this society? And so on. So those kind of very specific questions, you need someone who has who can establish his religious credentials. And that doesn't necessarily mean someone who's an imam or a scholar as such. It means someone who can win over that individual to their interpretation of the scripture. At the same time, often people within their own communities can be positive or negative, in the sense that if it's someone from within the community, it could be a negative thing that actually they prefer someone outside of it to open up to talk about and express their ideas and feelings. They may not wish to talk to someone within their community about this. On the other hand, it may well be that they need a sense of belonging and action, and they need some type of connection to their own community. So it could be that someone from within the community is able to take them under their wing as an aspect of that. Often it may be someone who understands what they're going through, because if you can't empathise with someone, if you go to someone who really genuinely feels that they are part and parcel of the Palestinian people or the Iraqi people who have died in their hundreds of thousands either under Saddam Hussein, who was supported by the West, or post Saddam Hussein during a conflict and war which they saw as at least half society believes is illegal. Wherever you stand on that, the point is that it's a disputed issue and it causes conflict. Actually, to a certain extent, you need someone who can empathise with what they're coming from. So either someone who understands where they're coming from without justifying it. So look, I understand why you feel that. Doesn't justify now actually believing in retaliating by attacking a civilian or attacking someone who's at a military barrack. Being able to do that. And sometimes that may be someone who's formally an extremist. It may not be someone who's formally an extremist. It may be someone who's just fundamentally understands the push-pull factors and the motivations. This is probably the most difficult question, is how do you measure impact and change? I would say when I was involved in Hizb ut-Tahrir, we would measure specifically what we would call the intellectual sensory perception. How do they feel, see and think about issues, and their motives for behaviour. So how do they decide to act? We would monitor those things to see what type of impact we were having in our radicalising of those individuals. And for me, it's the same thing. Essentially, you're changing the way people see things. People who have very simplistic views as the media is anti-Muslim and anti-Islam. Well, hold on a second. Maybe some portions of the media are. Some are even pro-Islamist. You get people in The Guardian that will give, Khalid Mishal of Hamas, which is a terrorist organisation, an editorial place in The Guardian, which is horrific if you think about it, but it's very kind of anti-establishment. And then you get the Daily Mail with its random stories about, child dies at 3 because of doctors are all bad, and oh, by the way, this one's Muslim. So you get all sorts of narratives, and making someone see that is part and parcel of this process. Making someone understand why actually there's a complexity involved in liberal societies where you will have diverse, different attitudes and multicultural societies, and also making someone recognise your religion therefore must be equally as complex and nuanced in its way it views things and understands things and sees people. And then recognising, is that changing in the way they think, feel, the statements they make, the behaviour they possess, the ideas they carry and what they propagate. I guess that's the only way you can try to measure attitudinational shifts.